Hello and welcome to Publishing Your Resume with GitHub. I'm your blobby man in the corner. My name is Steven Gazelle, like the animal, and today we're going to be having our own website published where you'll be able to show off portfolio projects and everything about you that makes you unique. I'm currently a student at FSCJ. I'm a senior right now. Hopefully, when you're watching this a little bit later, I will have that nice piece of paper saying that I did all the things, and I'm currently getting my bachelor's degree in information systems technology on the application development track. I've been enjoying my time here, and I'm really excited to just share this little bit of extra thing with you in your classes. I hope you're enjoying your journey through tech or whatever you are going for, and hopefully this workshop will help you on your journey throughout this world on this blue ball. And so what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to take advantage of GitHub Pages to host a resume in our portfolio site where we can show off our projects, anything digital about us, any extra information about you that you can't squeeze onto that resume because it's just how can you put everything about you on one piece of paper? You can't. So this will really help make you shine if anybody goes to your website, employers, friends, to get your name out there and really show what sets you apart and what makes you unique. This workshop is for anyone of any kind of tech familiarity. I don't know where you're at in your journey, but I promise you'll be able to do this workshop. I've made it step by step. I'll be doing it along with you, other than about one step, but you will be able to follow along with this PowerPoint. Hopefully you have this PowerPoint. If you don't, you'll get it in a minute, and we'll continue on. So first things first, create a GitHub account. If you do not have one, pause the video now, roll over to github.com or click this link if you have the PowerPoint and make an account, sign up. I suggest doing it with your school email if you have one. If not, that's fine too. Hopefully you have one. School email, I'll explain later. You get all kinds of benefits that you can apply for, as I hope you know you are a student, and there are plenty of things that you can get for free right now. Take full advantage. So what is GitHub? Great. It's an incredibly powerful code sharing tool, allows groups of people to work on files simultaneously, making branches, making changes. We won't be doing any of that today. We're going to utilize this service selfishly for us, and it's free, so they can't stop us. So don't worry about any of that mumbo jumbo. So the first thing you're going to do, once you've made your account, is you're going to fork my repository. You're going to copy it. So I've made a repository at this link right here, github.com/sgazelle/pages workshop. We're going to go over there just like so. So once you navigate over that way, here it is. So you're going to go up to this little button right here that says fork, and you're going to click that. And I would suggest changing this from Pages Workshop to, I don't know, my website or something, anything that is you. And then change the description as well. This is all optional, but I believe it makes a cleaner look on your site. If anyone goes to your GitHub account to look at things, this description and this repository name will be seen. So, change that. Your owner should already be there. I have to change it because this is mine. So you'll once you change the name, change the description if you want to. If you don't, and don't plan on working this past this assignment, no offense taken from me. Um, so you're going to hit create fork down here and give that a second to fully load that up. So right now it's just copying the files over into your account, and boom. So this should be yours on your site now. You should see either a little blank picture, whatever you changed your picture to up in the corner. And this is, so now this code is yours, and I can't touch your little corner of the web. This is all up to you. And what you're going to do after that bit, so let's head over here. So you forked the repository now, and now we're going to navigate to the pages option, which is how we're going to host these files, host this website using GitHub for free. And so we're going to come back over here, and in these tabs up here, you're going to go over to settings. And then in that tab, you're going to come down to this tab section and over to this pages right here. Click pages, and then you are going to keep that deploy from branch. Right here, you're going to click none, and you're going to go to main, and then I believe root. Yep, root file, and then just hit save. All right, and it should say GitHub pages source saved. Great. So now we have a little bit of a waiting game. So once you've changed that, It should take maybe 30 seconds to a minute. I know it can take a few minutes sometimes. I guess it depends on GitHub traffic and all that. But after a minute, you should see this button pop up on your page when you refresh the page. So don't sit there waiting for it. You have to refresh. And mine's going to take a minute. So hopefully, I'm going to pause right now, and then I'm going to come back when mine is here and save you some time. All right, so after about a minute, maybe 30 seconds after I paused it, I have not been gone for long. The button is here. So this right here, this link, whatever it gives you, this is your website. And you can click on that, you can send it to people, and it will, take them to your corner. The web, this is the template that I've provided for you. Welcome to your new portfolio website. I even included some HTML, CSS for some project sections down here that you can include. So here's some software for free software. We're going to be utilizing two of these. One of them is just an optional thing that I like to use. These are things that I like to use in order to plan out sites, make them nice and pretty. Um, you can look into these all you want. You can visit all of them. I like Awards and Dribble for inspiration and for great web development sites, so you can really see how some professionals do it and just get some inspiration for making your own site. So right now is probably a good time. I would say go to VS Code if you don't have it already. Click that link and go download that. Same with Git as well. It's a command line utility that we'll be utilizing to edit our files in our website and make changes to everything. And we'll be doing some command line stuff. Again, don't get scared. I'll explain it as best I can as we go. And then after this is over, you can go into it and learn more about what exactly you're doing. But I'll try to explain it as best I can as we're going, because I know as soon as some people see the command line, they're like, I can't, and they get paralysis, but that's okay. It's actually simple what you're doing. So again, pause the video now, go download these. You'll be using them in future bits of the video. So come back when that is all done, and we'll be continuing on. So admire your website nice and pretty. I'll be back after downloading Git. Hopefully you already did that, and you'll be able to see if you actually got it and installed it correctly in just a second. So if you know how to use the command line and you know how to use the command prompt, good for you. Open it up, use that, like navigate with the commands to wherever you want to save your files to specifically. But if you are not, if you are not familiar with the command line, simply go to your desktop, regardless of the OS you're using, open in terminal. If you hit open in terminal here, it will immediately open a command line straight to your desktop. The location is here, and you will be able to check to see if you have Git actually installed. If you type in git dash dash version, and it will spit you out a version. Now, if you have installed it and your computer is saying does not recognize the git command, I would recommend restarting your computer real quick. I'm sorry for that. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it doesn't. You don't need to, but I apologize. Please restart your computer and come back and then type in this command again, and hopefully you will see git version, whatever version you have installed. It might be different than mine. Don't worry about the actual number. But that is where we are at right now. So the next thing we'll be doing is you're going to configure Git to your GitHub account specifically so we can use that nice command line utility. So for you, you're going to type in git config dash dash global user.name, and then in quotes, please include the quotes. And it doesn't really, mine's Steven, so I'll do Steven Gazelle. And I've already configured my stuff, so I'm not going to hit enter, but you hit enter for that, for your user name, and then you're going to do git config global user.email, and then you're going to use whatever email you use to sign up for your GitHub account. So, and I don't actually have this email, so don't try it. If you are trying to, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying right now. So that's going to be the command for that. You hit enter for both of those. And I believe that will link this GitHub command line to your GitHub account. And you will see why that's going to be useful in just a minute. So keep that command line open. Do not close it. We'll be using it in a second. And the next thing is you are going to clone the repository. So now what you're doing is you're going to be taking the files from your GitHub repository and you're actually bringing them onto your machine. So there'll be a folder on your machine and you'll see it in just a second. And so you're going to need your repository link. And just so you know, this is not the link that you just clicked on in order to bring up this page. That's not, so don't get this URL right here. You're going to want to navigate back to the code tab here, right? And come back to this nice tab, click on this green code button, and then this is the link that we want, this .git link. And you're going to click the little copy to clipboard, and then you'll be able to open this back up, and you're going to type in the command git clone, and then paste in that link however you do it, whatever OS you're using. And then when you hit that, you'll see in a second that all of this mumbo jumbo pops up and then it stops. And once it stops, you can go to your desktop and you will see that you now have a folder that was not previously there and it has appeared because you just copied it to that location. Now, if your command line is not at the path to your desktop, you will not see it on your desktop and you will have to dig through your files and find wherever you just cloned it to on your computer. So that is a word of the wise for anyone who's like, wow, Steven, nothing happened. It did all the mumbo jumbo, nothing's there. Follow this link right here. So go into your computer files and follow that, and it will be wherever this file path is. All right. So I believe at this point we can close that window and we will continue on. And by the way, congratulations, you can open this up and you can see all of these fancy files in here. You won't be able to see that on yours unless you specifically turned on those settings. The .git folder is hidden. But those are your website files. So those are yours now. You can do with them as you wish and be able to work your magic with them in a second. Because hopefully earlier, as I said, you installed VS Code onto your computer. It's free software, Microsoft, great text editor, very useful. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to open it up. I like dark mode. And you are going to go to File and then go down to Open Folder, or if you're a hotkey junkie like me, Control KO opens that up. And then you can navigate to your desktop where you will see your My Website folder. So select this folder or whatever you name. It's going to be whatever you named your repository. Trust the authors. So once you've got VS Code open and you have navigated to your folder, you will see all of your files here in this Explorer in the left-hand side. So what you're going to want to do is click on index HTML right there, and you'll see all this mumbo jumbo pop up if you're not familiar with HTML. But don't get too overwhelmed by this. It doesn't matter. You'll be able to match up everything. So you can see welcome to your new portfolio site at the top there, software resources. If you see that text and you go back to your site, you can match up to what this actually is. So that's the header right there, and software resources is that text. So don't get too overwhelmed by HTML if you're not familiar with it at all. Uh, and what you're going to want to do in this text editor is you're going to change this text right here, this white text that says welcome to your portfolio site, and change it to whatever you want that message, that text to be at the top of the screen up here. It's going to change this. And that is going to show you that you are in control of the site, that your changes actually are being changed on the site that you published that is now being projected to the world that you can send out links for. And another step that we're going to do, if you have a resume in a docs file or PDF file, if you scroll down through all this stuff, once you get to this green line right here that says project section, you'll see this download my resume line right here. So that is actually the HTML for this button right here that I made. And when somebody clicks it, it downloads a resume, and we're going to change the file to your resume that actually gets downloaded when somebody clicks that button. So you can do this in two ways. You can either go into your files that are on your desktop now, and you can go into the files directory that's in there. And if your resume is a PDF, you can either change your file to resume.pdf or resume if you don't have the extension, and drag and drop it in here, replace that file with your folder. If it is something else, we can change that easily. If you have a docs file, a Word file, just drag that in here too, and then come back to the code and change this link right here. So where it says slash files slash, so that's the path from here. And you're going to change this end bit to whatever, you know, so if I had if mine was a docs file, I could change it to this. If it was a Word file, Word document, you have to know your extension and your name. So you just change it to whatever the name is right here. And that's how you change it to direct it. That button, it points to your file. So I am going to leave that because I am not going to do that. But if this is how you add your resume to the files of this site. All right. And so you're going to change that page title right there as well. Hopefully you did that. The next step is to save. So hit Control S or File, and then go down to Save and save it. And the next step we will do is you'll come up here to the Terminal tab. If your window's a little bit smaller, if you're on a laptop, you might not be able to see that. You'll have these three dots. So click on these three dots and then go to Terminal and then go to New Terminal and open that up. And I have Bash installed as the default on mine. I'll change that to PowerShell, make it look a little more familiar to Windows people if you're doing this on Windows. And you will see this, the path. So you are now the path is in your directory, in your files that you've made. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in the git commands, git add star, and this is adding all of the changes that you've done. So type in git add star, and you can kind of think of this if you're not familiar with Git or GitHub. Git add star. So imagine you're giving someone a gift basket, and your changes are the individual gifts that you're putting into the basket. You don't want to give this person one gift at a time. That would be inefficient. So if you have multiple changes, you can put all those gifts into the one basket, and then that is what git add is doing. So we're adding those to the basket, and then you're going to do git commit dash m as in Mary, and then in quotes, some kind of message, whatever you want, like changed my title, something like that. So that's the equivalent of putting a tag on your gift basket, the little message to somebody. It's going to be for you and you alone. Nobody else is going to see this unless they navigate to your GitHub account and go to your repository. Then I'll be able to see that little message right there. But let's just see it as adding a little tag to your gift basket to push in. So hit that and then do git push origin, which is uh, it's what your repository is just set to. It's kind of like a keyword for it. And then main is the branch. You don't really have to know too much about this. If you want to look farther into Git and GitHub, the origin and main parts, you don't really need to know too much about for this. But when you hit that, you will see all this mumbo jumbo pop up, and then it will go back to the command line at the bottom. And that's how you know that it might ask you to log in at this point if you haven't. So if it redirects you to a web page, log into your GitHub, and then once you log in, come back here and you'll see all this mumbo jumbo and stuff pop up. And that is how you know your changes have been successfully pushed to your website. So come back here. You're pushing your changes. So here's a nice little diagram in the corner of seeing what we're actually doing, committing, pushing it. Don't worry about the poll. We don't have to do that right now. That's if you're working with somebody else. So those are the commands right here if you needed to. So star adds everything. You can actually add individual files if you want, but it's not really part of this right now. We're just keeping it simple. And if you go to your repository page and refresh, you'll see that your little message there is now changed in here. So you've successfully taken your changes and you've put them back onto GitHub. You've updated your repository. So congratulations, you got past the command line and its scary unknowns. You know, you're a hacker now. I'm just kidding. But congratulations, because that's a huge feat to actually get your stuff changed. This is just showing you that you are in control of your little slice again. So now that we have done that bit, what we're going to do is, oh, and again, your changes might take a minute to actually show up on your website. And if you want to see what the changes look like before you push them, go into your files and just simply double click on this index.html, right? And this is not on your, this is local. If you click on that index.html file, this is locally on your machine. So this is your website, and you can see the text is changed here. The resume button goes to whatever link you set it to. So that's how you can see local changes. If you want to change multiple things before you push them to GitHub, you can just go into your folder and double click on that index HTML, and then you can see just what exactly you're changing and what you're doing. So you're not pushing and like waiting 10 or 15 minutes to see the changes actually show up on your website. And like this might not even be changed yet. It is. Okay. So it happens fairly quickly. So this is the actual website, and then this is locally on my system. So it actually went pretty quick to the GitHub. So when you push those changes, it automatically publishes those changes to your website because GitHub is pointing to your repository that you just changed. So congratulations, you've officially changed your little corner of the web. And our next step is going to be to create a QR code. So I really like the QR codes because you can put them physically on your resume or a business card or anything that really quickly gets people to your place without needing to tell them, oh, it's at, www.github slash whatever you named your repository slash, it really cuts out a lot and makes it easy. And that's why I'm kind of showing you this. So if you go to your website, you will notice this QR code monkey link here, and you can go ahead and click that. It takes you to a nice QR code monkey site, and this is very simple. So you go to your portfolio site, and you will copy this URL that you have. You will go down here, and you will paste it, and you can change the colors, change even add a logo in the middle of it if you want to, customize the design, change the shapes and stuff of it. It's really neat. That's why I like QR code monkey a lot. A lot of options. And then when you are done, you're going to come down here and hit create QR code and give it that second. And then once this changes, this is your site. So now you can actually take your phone out if you want to, and you'll be able to just point it at that QR code that's on your screen here, and you will direct you to your website. And it's just that easy. You can send anybody this QR code, show anybody this QR code. It will direct them straight to your little oasis that you've made, all nice. And in order to put this on stuff, you can either save it as a PDF, SVG, whatever you're going to do. This shows you this little ad, and then tells you it's being generated and give you a minute. But then once it's generated, it should go into your downloads, at which point you can put it on all kinds of useful stuff, such as a resume. Put it like in the corner of your resume, put it on some business cards, makes it easier, if you are face to face with somebody and you have the picture of the QR code on your phone, you just, open it up, show it to them, be like, here's my website, and they'll scan it. It's that easy, much easier than saying, please go to my website, just go to your bar, type in, sgazelle.github.io slash, it's so much less hassle, makes you seem so much more professional, and it is just quicker. I'm a big fan of it. So, congratulations, that's the required part of this, and I have a little bit of bonus content at the end of the PowerPoint if you want to do that, if you want to stick around. If not, I'm sure this is the assignment done for you, and you can close all this out and be done with editing your website forever. This next section is just for people that want to go that extra mile and are actually planning on using this website. And for those of you that decided to stick around, I wanted to kind of point you into a nice direction. I would like to point out this is why I wanted you to use your student email. GitHub Education Pack is an incredible thing that GitHub offers to students once you provide proof that you are a student. They give you all kinds of free benefits on your site. You will see the link of the little GitHub man with the little education cap, and you can go there and sign up for it. But there are all kinds of free things. You can even on Namecheap right now at the time of this video, they offer a free 1 year domain name registration of a .me domain name. And a domain name is just, how youtube.com, that's the domain name. So a free year of a .me domain name means you can register, if your name's John Smith, johnsmith.me. If anyone types that into their URL bar, then it will take you directly to that site. You can connect it to the website that you just created, and it'll be that much easier to get your name out there with a nice name of a website. There's all kinds of other services. They have like an intro to web dev class and stuff like that. one password. I mean, there's countless things that are just it's an incredible resource. Probably one of the most vast, nice resources that I've found as a student. And I found out about it a little bit into my education. I wish I had been able to take advantage right off the bat, so that's why I'm including this. Very nice. So here are some resources. These are just links to everything that's on your website. Please take advantage of GitHub Education. And that bonus that we're doing to uh, customize our site just a little bit extra because you wanted to stay around and you actually are going to use this website. Follow the pixels link on your website, which is this image right here, that little icon on your website, and find an image that you think represents you well. These are royalty-free images, so there's no copyrights associated with them or anything like that. Find one, type in anything. There's thousands of images, great quality. And then what you're going to do once you find that, so pause the video right now, go find your image and then come back. And now that you're back, welcome again. It's been 1 second for me, and who knows how long for you. I can spend forever looking for pictures. You're going to rename that file that you downloaded to background.jpg.jpg. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go into your files here, and in images, you're going to just take your image and you're going to drag it in here, and you're going to replace this old background.jpg image, right? And then open up your GitHub, and you're gonna do the whole thing over again with the git add. So git add star, git commit dash m, whatever that note's gonna be, change my background image, then type in git push origin main, and then give it that second to actually update. But again, you can click on this index.html file and it will open up. And the thing is, if you keep this up and you actually do multiple changes, so say I go here and tool, if you hit save and then you go back to your local thing here, you'll notice that it isn't changed and you actually have to come up here and refresh the page and then boom, it's changed locally on there. So if you plan on updating your site, I would highly recommend getting this extension called Live Server. So on the side panel here in VS Code, if you come over to the extensions, and in the search bar, I already have it. Search for Live Server and install this under your VS Code, just this extra added thing. It is very useful. And what that allows you to do is when you install that, it adds this little button down here that says Go Live. And that prevents you from having to refresh your changes every time you're making changes to your site. So you wouldn't have to come here, make a change, and then go back, and then, refresh the page and see what happens is, I'm going to close that. If you click on this little Go Live button down here, and it starts up, so now it's your website, and it says, I am cool. This is locally on yours, not on your GitHub file. And then you'll see if I change this here, I'm the best in the world, and then save. If you have this up on another monitor, you'll be able to see it automatically change. You don't have to refresh this. And that is just such a headache off of you. Such a big, just something extra that I thought I would share with the people that actually want to edit this and know that bit more. And I appreciate you sticking around because I am very into web development and very into design and all that. So it's just all those extra things that make it easier that as you find them out, you're like, oh, I wish I'd known about this earlier. Well, now you know at the very beginning, and you don't have to refresh your page a billion trillion times as you make your changes and edit. So that's it. Thank you all for watching. You made it this far, all the way to the very end. I'm sure like maybe 1% of you did. But for that 1%, I'm thankful to you and I appreciate you and I wish you all the best.